Hello, welcome back to Suzerain. What is next on the agenda? Office of the President Sutherland, that's a media strategy. That one is going to be potentially a bit scary. Invest in mega infrastructure, yes. So this one is also going to be important. Let's go talk about the media. Lucian and Peter arrived at my office to talk about our recent developments and the media strategy. They both took their seats. Across from me, Lucian put on his reading glasses and quickly went over some documents. Peter turned to Lucian and nodded. Let's begin. First of all, Lucian, you mentioned that Marcel Coronti contacted you. Corontis had always been known as one of the richest and most influential families in Sutherland. They're kind of like their Murdochs, I guess. He was the oldest son of Konrad Coronti, the industrialist and media mogul who founded HOS, the richest man in the entirety of Sutherland. Lucian turned to me. He has offered to meet with you, Mr. President. What does he want? Well, after the passing of his father, may he rest in peace, Marcel aims to become the next CEO of the HOS conglomerate. He mentioned a productive collaboration. Looks like a country. They are a powerful and influential media conglomerate to start with. They own the Sutherland Today newspaper, the Swedish Broadcasting Corporation, which means it would be wise to have them by our side. Sorry for interrupting. What does this productive collaboration entail? He did not wish to explain the details of the phone, but rather in person. I believe I will be receiving a call from him sometime soon. However, as Petter said, they have substantial power over the content of media outlets, headlines, radio shows. This is what we would be offering. What he wants in return is what we need to understand. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we need to determine our general approach to the media. There are two ways we can approach the media. One of them is by influencing it, which has clear advantages, and the other one is keeping it independent. The media must be independent, though. Like, the media is a tool for... So, like, the media as it exists, it does many things. It serves as a watchdog, a third estate, right? Fourth estate, is it? Sorry, fourth estate. Third estate is, I don't remember actually, like, the order of them. But a fourth estate. Their job is to, ensure that there is accountability. To keep the people informed and all that. It's a very, very important democratic institution. The media, however, also does do other things, because whether the media is state-owned or private, the media does reflect the ideals or the sort of attitudes of the people who control it and who work in it and all that. So it'll sometimes reflect the dominant sort of like cultural like mores or whatever, wherever it is operating, and so can be used to maintain or shift or alter systems. That's why propaganda is a big deal. It's why countries like the United States invests in media corporations in other places of the world, and Russia invests in media companies that target specifically other countries that they are of their interest. Like, I get targeted ads for Russian outlets about Norwegian stuff, promoting this is controversial, but promoting some conspiracy theories about how the Norwegian Child Protective Services is abducting Russian children, which is strange to say the least, but it happens. And so, like, the media will always be a tool to be used by someone, but our job is to try to make sure that it, I guess, in some way, shape, or form remains independent, but we do need to have a way of regulating it. Though the problem is, when we do try to regulate it, we are becoming the new controllers. You can't really, like, it's paradoxical. You can't really make it totally free and independent without surrendering it to someone who will control it. Ideally, yes, but an unpopular leader will not be able to pass even the easiest reforms. It is of most importance to maintain the public popularity and avoid any damaging scandals or mistakes. I must stress one thing, Mr. President. The more people we have on our side supporting our agenda, the more we can accomplish. With someone on our side in an influential media organization, we can do this very easily. Yes, I see what you're getting at. So I'm willing to work with the media, like moguls and stuff, but I'm not willing to directly direct them. We can always hope for the best. Do we really think that nothing can go wrong, especially considering the near-term history of Sutherland? 2 knocks were heard at the door. Please come in. Livia Suno, my new secretary, it looks like Tessa Thompson, entered the office, because that's the lady that he said was attractive. Her dark curls bounced as she crossed the room to my desk. She spoke with a slight lilt in her voice. Excuse me, Mr. President. Mr. Galaud's secretary has been calling me and wanted me to relay a message. Marcel Coronti, the new CEO for HOS Conglomerate, is on the line. Well, the ball is in our court now. Would you like to talk to him, sir, or would you like me to? I'll talk to him. Connect the line to my office. Let's pick up phone. It's a pleasure, Mr. Coronti. Pleasure is all mine. I know your time is valuable, so I will not waste any of it. I was just selected to be the CEO of HOS. My strategy in the running of this conglomerate will be different than my father's approach. This is why I'm offering a partnership deal regarding our media branch. I would like to formally invite you to my resort near Conriat for a meeting to discuss the details. Thank you for the offer. I would be interested in a meeting. You will not be disappointed, I promise. Well, then I will let you return to your packed schedule. See you later, Mr. President. That was short. See you later, Mr. Coronti. I'll set things up right away. Expect a worthwhile meeting next month. It is settled then. Looking forward to the meeting next month. Looks like we ran out of time for today. We will continue where we left off later. Thank you for your time. Good work with Marcel. Keep it up. Yeah, we are getting involved with some dangerous figures right now. What's going on now? Campaign finance bill? Okay. Oh, yeah, I remember that, actually. Let's do the mega infrastructure. Actually, no. Because I think I'm gonna have someone who's gonna ask me about, like... Actually, no. Let's do this. The Ministry of Economy has put forward two bold plans for mega infrastructure projects that would help with the economic recession in the long term. Investing in projects of this scale will take up some portion of our budget, but could prove worthwhile if accomplished successfully. So, essentially, this is a New Deal kind of thing. You're creating jobs by doing public works. Let's do it. Discussion of the potential infrastructure projects at the Blue Mansion in Lachaven. The view towards the Markian Sea from Lachaven was nothing short of exquisite. The seaside state residence, fittingly named the Blue Mansion, was large, fine, and accommodating, but enjoying the luxurious mansion wasn't the main reason for our visit. We gathered the economic team here to discuss the new infrastructure investment project. Half an hour had already passed since the start of the meeting. Unfortunately, I did not even have the chance to have my usual afternoon coffee. Looking at the view from the windows, I left my wind drift for a couple of seconds. Simon's voice brought me back into the ongoing discussion. Mr. President, we need to focus on boosting the economy as quickly as possible. One of the fastest ways to achieve this is through infrastructure projects. Nod. On the one hand, businessmen are complaining about the slow logistical rail network between Holzod and Lachaven. On the other hand, citizens are criticizing the lack of a proper highway connection between Lachaven and Arvori. The narrow roads by the seaside are not only dangerous, but also difficult to traverse. I think that we should help the people, who are the people who vote for us. We need to pick the most profitable option for economic growth. The citizens and the demands matter the most. The demands are just. The dire situation of the road infrastructure between Lachaven and Arvori can't be neglected. The return in investment will be low. Our concern should be economic growth. That's Arvori up there. There, and Lachaven down there. Or Lachaven? I think it's Lachaven. The return on investment will be low, yep. But it is not the business people that suffer, but the ordinary folk. That is true. What really matters, though, is that we can accomplish something tangible in our first economic act. Yeah, we must prove our administrative capabilities. Therefore, I defined two important projects for attention, the H3 Highway Project and the L1 High-Speed Railway Project. Ministry can only support one project at a time with the current capacity and budget. Let's move on to the details of each. I've decided. I'm going to do the highway project up here. Angland to in the region. Let's see, visible state of the road network in the Angland region bordering Agnolia, which also might help with our relationship with Agnolia as well, to bring us closer. The mayor of Arvori, Eric Neal, has been asking for a bigger budget to develop the regional infrastructure. He told us that even the trucks are having a hard time traveling through the main roads. Increased traffic is causing trouble for people commuting in and out of the region. I can't leave the request of Eric Neal, a party member, unanswered. I know him personally and can vouch that he is a trustworthy member of our party. Let us take a look at the map. Let's see. Oh, just pointing at Lachlan. Yep. Starts here and leads to Lenkirk, yeah. Over here. And there goes all the way to Arbury. As a result, the road network towards the Agnolian capital Stalport will improve substantially. So the central government continuously neglect the Agno-Swedish dominated regions when I was mayor, and this administration, or is this administration, going to continue that kind of negligence? No, we shouldn't. The highway will be less beneficial in the near term. I have to disagree, it will increase the speed of transportation throughout the region. I believe it will be less beneficial in the near term for big business, and big business is also what drives GDP and all that, but if all you care about is numbers, people will suffer, and they'll suffer while they're waiting for the economic upturn that you are promising. I've settled on a decision. My final choice will be the H3 highway project to improve the infrastructure in our poorer regions. Thank God, I knew that you would see reason. Okay. You'll be able to award the contract to a corporation of your choice. Yeah, so someone is going to try to make me pick their corporation here. There we are, highway. Now we have one increasing homelessness, that's bad. What's going on here? Promising agricultural growth, that's one. Yeah, let's go on to the next event. Actually, party committee report. Reform Committee reports that any potential change to the constitution in the direction of the reformists will likely result in a strong opposition from the National Front Party, yeah, but they're smaller. The members of the Assembly in support of such direction seem to be in great numbers and possibly make up a majority in the Grand National Assembly, while most members of the United Sordland Party seem reluctant about supporting such changes. We'll have to talk to the party and get them in line, I guess. Public opinion report. 55% of the population supports reformist ideas. Well, we are doing the popular thing then. The criteria for the allocation of public funds shall no longer be according to the number of votes won in the general election by a political party. The new criteria shall be proportion of seats won by a political party in the assembly. Oh, okay, so now funds are being given based on votes, not seats. Political parties shall receive an annual amount of 500,000 ren per member of assembly. This results in doubling of the USP election budget and a slight increase in the other parties of the assembly, while effectively removing all funding from parties that are below the 10% election threshold, which will upset the independents and the smaller parties, which will cement the position of the larger parties in the assembly and sort of eliminate the risk of third-party threats. Really bad for democracy. Really good for us. I feel like I'm gonna sign it, even though it's bad, because most of the parties will like it, and our party will like it, and we will benefit the most. Now, of course, that's going to be criticized by the radical, I'm guessing. Geopolitical. Who are they? Who are you? As the Reign administration starts its first term, there is a question in all of our heads: what will be the regional international trade policy? Okay, this is a aggressive military and diplomatic developments of Rumburg have come to the conclusion that it is highly likely that Rumburg will keep trying to push further south, threatening the territories of Sordland, Velen, and possibly Agnolia. Yeah, these guys are scary. The annexation of Dome many decades ago was just a beginning of Rumburg. Rumburg seems to be on a quest to secure all strategic resources in East Marcopa. Giving me slight Germany vibes right now. Oh yeah, it's our turn journal. I love the codex, like being able to find everything there. Lockman Times, supporting the assembly grows for campaign finance bill. Okay, yeah, everyone in the assembly likes that, I guess. The Radical, USB hijacks elections. A new law that further expands the unfairness of our election system has been approved by the Grand National Assembly and was signed into law by President Reign. A new law changes the rules of eligibility of the public funds that are reserved for every political party in Sordland. These guys don't like us because we just I guess we did just hijack democracy in a major way, at least funds-wise. An opportunity to buy stocks from an Arcasian company. I haven't seen this before. A personal investment opportunity has been relayed by Mr. Manger. And, or Manger, I don't know how to pronounce most of these names. An experienced stockbroker in Ventry City, Arcasia, is selling, that's probably kind of like New York City, is selling a valuable shares of Armadine Industries, an up-and-coming electronics manufacturing company. We could invest or let the opportunity pass. So if we invest, I think this could lead to increases in personal wealth, but it could also lead to some problematic, like a problematic relationship with Arcasia. Like if people are like, well, why are you, buddying up with Arcasia and stuff, and, or helping them with their coup in some sort of like rare mineral rich country or whatever. Well, because you own these shares. But I'm gonna buy them anyways. Because I assume the personal wealth can be used for something that could potentially be beneficial to our political platform. Could also end up being just a, corruption meter. Reception at the inaugural ball. I just finished buttoning up my suit jacket when the doorbell rang. The presidential guard had arrived to pick us up from the inaugural ball. The ball was a 3-decade-long tradition, breathlessly anticipated by politicians, bureaucrats, and the press. All eyes were about to be on me. Called on Monica to get the children ready. Looking in the mirror, I straightened my tie and took a deep breath. After tonight, there would be no turning back. Suddenly, Diana hugged me from behind, startling me a little. Monica had fixed her hair into an elaborate braid, woven through with ribbons. Mama told me it's time to go. Tell your mother I will be ready very soon. Okay, Papa, I can't wait to see the palace. It was almost time to leave. The big ball was starting in less than an hour. Monica, Frank, enough fussing around now. Let's see. Darling Frank, it's time. Monica came down the stairs. She was wearing a simple yet elegant beige sheath dress and short heels. Her hair had been neatly pinned into a chignon, I don't know what that is, showing off the pearl earrings I'd given her for our 15th anniversary. All those years, she had stayed by my side, and now we were about to begin the most challenging chapter in our lives yet. How do you do, Mr. President? Embrace her. You look as gorgeous as the day we married. Now that's that charm that got you elected. Frank trudged down the stairs. This thing itches. Frank tugged at the collar of his new tuxedo. He seemed ill at ease. I'm glad to have you with us for this big night. Sure, Dad, I'm just dying to go. He doesn't like it. Papa, are these people going to be around us from now on? Fortunately, yes, they can't leave our side until my term ends. These people are our friends, Diana. It's alright, baby. They're here to make sure nothing bad happens to your papa or his family. Halfway to the car, Frank stopped abruptly and turned towards me. Frank, do I really have to go? Couldn't I just stay home instead? I'm nervous myself, but I'd feel a lot more confident with my son at my side. Well, when you put it like that, sure, let's go. Presidential Guard showed us the way as red and blue lights flashed around us. Serge, my driver, ushered us into our armored limousine. The motorcade started moving towards the palace. I gazed out the window deep in thought. Anton, what are you thinking about? Thinking that we've come a long way together, haven't we? Yes, we have, and there's still so much that we'll accomplish side by side. Just remember, no matter what happens, the children and I will always be there for you. I'm going to help Papa fix everything, she says. Frank rolled his eyes. I know you will, honey. Let's just enjoy the night. For what seemed like just a few minutes, the convoy slowed to a halt. Serge rolled down the window, a limousine soundproof partition. We are here, sir. Sir, hope you enjoyed the drive. Much appreciated. How are you today, Serge? I'm just as good as I can be, but today is your day, sir. I'm glad you're in charge now. You know, my entire family voted for you. Thank you and your family. I'm here with all of your support. No reason to thank me, sir. You are the one who sparked a glimmer of hope in us all. Serge opened the door for me. The normally imposing palace was festooned with garish banners that nearly made it look cheerful. A line of shiny luxury sedans stretched around it. I wonder if you made different choices if Surge wouldn't be as enthusiastically behind you, or if he would still be behind you but just have like different ideals himself. Politicians, bureaucrats, and maybe it would be a different driver, I don't know. Politicians, bureaucrats, and celebrities, the creme de la creme of the Swordland elite, streamed, inside the building. Steamed? It's not a sauna. Good luck out there, Mr. President. It's instead VidCon. I'll see you on the trip home. I stepped out and immediately found myself surrounded by loud voices and camera flashes. Hordes of eager journalists thrust their portable microphones my way. My guards fended most of them off, but one woman managed to dodge them and corner me. I recognized the Swedish Broadcasting Company logo on her press lanyard. Do you plan on working together with the opposition parties on the expected constitutional reforms? I'll give a non-answer. My administration will bring real change. Does that mean that you don't plan on working together? Do you think you share no common ground with the other parties? We will do our job no matter what. One more question. What if your first act as president was to sign a campaign finance law allocating public election funds by seats in the assembly as opposed to number of votes? Is this a deliberate attempt to defund the Communist Party and the Blue Deal Workers' Party, neither of which have reached the election threshold? This seems... all these questions, or all these answers are bad. All these are bad. I've fallen into a trap I should not have fallen into. She's no codex entry available, oh god. To ensure that the USB has the funds we need to stay in power long enough to truly bring democracy to this country, I think, is the best one out of these. Motivations are not for you to know, that's bad. She's a member of the electorate. Your motivations are definitely meant to be known. That's enough, ma'am, said one of my guards while nudging the reporter away from me. A path through the crowd was now open, and we quickly made our way to the entrance of the palace. At the same time, a dozen fireworks went off. Lush moon carpet had been rolled down the stairs. We entered the lobby and joined the throngs of people making their way towards the ballroom. Behind me, I heard a familiar voice. There they are, the most beautiful family in Solent. Uncle Petter. Hi, Uncle Petter. It's great to see you. You're growing faster than I'm getting wiser. Are you sure we're getting any wiser, Petter? Maybe not. After all, I'm sticking with you still. Happy to see your familiar face, Petter. Petter and Evelyn, says Monica. Petter's wife Evelyn approaches and shook hands with a firmness that belied her delicate features. That's her. Second lady. And first lady. Congratulations, Anton. I have to say, the results were clear to me from the beginning. Appreciate it, Evelyn. That means a lot. Pleasure is mine. I think it's time to celebrate this victory. I hope you'll show the same enthusiasm on the job. Of course I will, you know me. I work as hard as I play. Monica, how are you? You've barely said a word. I'm more than relieved to have this rollercoaster ride over with, but of course now the real work begins. Exactly. Like, the real work begins after the election. Ah yes, managing to the help, planning parties, daily trips to the saloon or salon to look your best for foreign dignitaries. Don't be so old-fashioned, Evelyn. I plan to use my power as First Lady to advance the position of women throughout Swordland. Equal rights for our sex are long overdue, wouldn't you say, Anton? Yeah, I mean, she was like a women's rights person, right? Up to a point, yes, no. As long as you don't burn the roast, am I right, Petter? Wayo! Absolutely, and we'll work together to achieve that. Papa, can we go? I want to go see the ballroom. Yes, it's time, let's go. Inside, we were yet again surrounded by a noisy crowd, but this time it was the politicians who sought to appease the new authority in Swordland. Spent the next 3 hours shaking hands, joining various conversations, some serious, some superficial, and making speeches. We finally settled down at our dinner table with the Vectorns as the band started playing some slow jazz tunes. Oof, that was tiring. What, you're already tired? Well, suddenly a loud banging noise echoed from outside the ballroom. Then another, and another. The musicians stopped playing. Everyone in the room was looking around in confusion. Petra and I turned towards each other, realization dawning on both of our faces. Fireworks? No, gunshots. As soon as Monica heard the word, she lunged from her seat. shield Monica and kids. I threw myself over Monica, Diana, and Frank to shield them. Papa, what's happening? I knew it. We never should have gone. Chaos broke out as some guests flung themselves under their tables and others ran towards the doors, screaming. Diana burst into tears while Frank tried to comfort her, hiding the fear in his own eyes. 3 more gunshots rang out loudly. Mr. President, are you all right? Says Carl Grazer, Chief of Police. He was running towards us with 3 more police officers in decorated uniforms. They all had their guns drawn. As soon as he made it out to us and saw that we were unharmed, he let out a big sigh of relief. Thank God. Check the perimeter, I say. He turned around and quickly to his men. Check the perimeter now. Paul, Jansen, follow my lead. We'll bring them to the safe room. He now turned to Monica, Evelyn, and the children and spoke in a softer voice. Do not worry, the situation is now under control. Please follow me. We promptly followed Carl through the winding halls and corridors of the palace. His men still had their guns drawn, which did not ease the tension. On the way, Petter made an attempt to break the silence. What a fucking night. You can say that again. Carl turned to us with a serious face as we were about to round a corner. Quiet, please. Sorry, I talk when I get nervous. Peter, shut up. Carl flipped a switch on the wall and a panel opened, revealing a hidden staircase leading to a large reinforced door. Inside, a set of emergency lights flickered on, and the safe room was comfortable and spacious, with expensive-looking leather sofas. Small security monitors on the wall displayed grainy footage of each room in the palace. There was a boardroom and a pantry containing enough provisions to last us months. Monica and Evelyn sat the children down and started wiping their tears. Carl stepped away from us and made a few radio calls. When he was done, he returned to me and Peter. Or Petter. Not the best inauguration ball I've been to. Certainly not, sir. Carl's radio suddenly crackled alive. Every second felt like an eternity as he pressed his ear to the receiver. When it felt silent, he turned to us. Good news, we are not in any danger at the moment. The situation has been dealt with and the perimeter has been secured by the guards and the police. If I may, sir. He gestured to a more private corner of the room and started speaking more quietly. This is what we know so far. We have confirmed that 2 people were gunned down in front of the palace. The gunman is one of them, and we are sure that he was working alone. The attacker fired 3 shots at an MP, 1 to the head, 2 to the body, instantly killing him. Presidential guards have, at the palace, immediately shot and killed the attacker. The gunman has not been identified yet and will require an investigation. The MP that was killed was identified as Bernard Surkas. This is huge, Anton, and this will cause a lot of problems. Petter pulled out 2 cigarettes and handed me one. He then turned to Evelyn. I could hear him trying to reassure her that everything was going to be alright. Monica was still trying to tend to Diana and Frank, as Diana and Frank paced the room, mumbling that he should have stayed home. Comfort the kids. Nothing like this will ever happen again. I'll make sure of it. We're safe. I'll make sure everything is going to be fine. Can't be sure of anything anymore, Anton, says Monica. I lit my cigarette and took a deep drag. I was going to see this through and keep my family safe at all costs. I crushed the cigarette on the ashtray. This guy is his work earned him the description of a romantic communist. This guy is based on the Turkish poet whose quote was at the beginning of the game, actually. Nikam something. I don't remember. Hazim, was it? Something like that? I don't remember his name, actually. Right now in the moment, because a lot of stuff just happened, but that seems like a really good place to end it. There was an assassination, and things are kind of bad right now. So thank you so much for watching, and let's see what happens in the next one. Goodbye.